Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! It is the most superstitious time of year, and I've never really had the best of luck on Friday the 13th, but having said that, I would love to welcome in all the members of the Descendants of Zombies universe who have already subscribed to their favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time on the worst day of the year for people who believe in bad luck. But if you've ever believed in superstition, I think this could be the YouTube channel for you. If you've ever believed in magic, if you've ever believed in supernatural and excited about Zombies 5, hopefully this YouTube channel over the next 20 minutes will give you more of a reason to be more excited than perhaps ever before. I can't say that I've ever had the best of luck on Friday the 13th. I've always believed that everything that I saw in these horror movies like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes, I thought was real. So hopefully I'll make it through this show today without any bad luck happening for me, and so hopefully somebody's going to subscribe. Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I am your host, Jonathan Clarke. Of course, you've already heard the news about the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour concert special. It's coming your way on Disney Plus and Disney Channel on February 19th, and I'm going to be paying really close attention to the reviews, to the ratings, to the views that this one is going to get, because it's going to be up there in the millions. The Descendants Rise of Red premiere had over 6.7 million views scored in 3 days. In just under 3 days, it had 6.7 million views, and it had everything to do with how much you guys believed in it. And now the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour concert special is preparing to set records, and it's going to shatter every record that every concert performance that Disney Concerts has ever collaborated or ever produced, or any concert special that's ever premiered on Disney has ever succeeded in having. I remember the Taylor Swift Eras Tour special, and that got millions of views on Disney+. Disney's always had a hand in every production Taylor Swift has ever put off over the last at least 25 years. And I've never seen a girl go as far with her career as what I saw Taylor Swift have the chance to do and create with each and every one of you. She truly created something special, and you guys, the Swifties, have forever and always supported her. My heart's always and forever been with you guys for being fans of Taylor Swift the way you've been over the last 25 years. But I've never seen a concert performance be so revered and so reviewed so significantly by fans of Descendants of Zombies who believe in it so much. And because of you guys, I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you from my heart to yours for believing in Descendants of Zombies so much that you would make it the #1 franchises in the world. People believe in this so much. They believe in the story. They love the story so much and its characters, and especially when it comes to Malachi, Barton, and Freya, Skye. There is something about this undeniable chemistry, this vibe that you get every single time that they ever enter a room or they ever have the chance to collaborate. I don't know about you guys, but I would love the opportunity to see a duet recorded for one of Freya Skye's upcoming albums, or even an album that Malachi Barton could have a hand in, where they actually sing a song away from zombies, to give you a better understanding of how they feel about each other, a situation they may be going through that they felt each other through because they've been there for each other every step of the way. I've always believed that in every lifetime we have one friend that comes into our lives for some unexplained reason, for some unknown reason, no matter what that reason is, who stay with us forever and always. And we come to realize that that's the only friend that we ever need in our lives. Like how Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget realized very quickly in her lifetime the only friend that she ever needed was Ella, played by Morgan Dudley. The thing was, their friendship really stood the test of time, and they were there for each other every step of the way. And that's what made their characters so special, and really defined something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies. Helped you make sense of everything going on around you. While we took away a greater appreciation for the 15 characters that were featured in the Life is Sweeter When You Were a music video, we also took away a greater appreciation for the friendship that became something very special for each and every one of us between Ruby and Ella. And I never ever forgot that. And that's why Ruby, one of the biggest reasons why Ruby to this day has been my favorite Descendants character. And I think I'm not alone on that sentiment. We've all had a favorite character from Descendants of Zombies, ladies and gentlemen, no matter who we are. No matter if it was Zed, no matter if it was Addison. I could very quickly see why you guys loved the Zed and Addison's love story as much as what you did, because they didn't care what other people thought of them or what they thought of their relationship. They just lived for the moment. And I think that every member of the cast of both Descendants of Zombies have been living in that moment. Moments that were created and so special for them because of the Worlds Collide Tour. Moments that were special for each and every one of us. You know something, I would have loved the opportunity to have attended the Worlds Collide Tour and experienced it for the energy that was in every venue, because for the 43 venues that were sold out across the United States, nearly 20,000 people every night saw something special and took something special away from their performances. And if you were somebody who had the chance to experience the Worlds Collide Tour for what it was worth and you wanted this moment to last forever, my heart has forever and always remained with you, because I feel the same way. I remember years ago when Disney would put up over 800 concert performances from Disney concerts, including the Hannah Montana Best of Both Worlds Tour, the Cheetah Girls, which many of you are probably too young to remember, or perhaps many of you do, but I remember how dedicated and how much heart Disney would put into these concert performances. But I have never seen so much heart put behind a performance such as the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour, or nearly as much merch sold for the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour as what was sold this past summer. I'm really hoping there's going to be a leg 2 of this tour off its profound success, because millions of people sold out 43 arena dates. You couldn't get your hands on a ticket. It was the hottest ticket in town. And if you haven't figured out why, it's because these stars are some of the most honored and certainly some of the most celebrated of all time. I've always had a voice for entertainment, and I've always had something to do with entertainment over the years. So I've seen the best of them come and go, make names for themselves, others not succeed so much, like a Taylor Swift or a Sabrina Carpenter or even Ariana Grande has. But I've seen some of the best of them come and go. I experienced the rise in popularity of the Backstreet Boys, and actually just yesterday I couldn't stop listening to the Backstreet Boys because everywhere I went in my car, a Backstreet Boys song from 1998 was being played on the radio. I have no idea what was going on. Probably we were preparing ourselves for a zombie apocalypse or the end of the world. I don't know. But the Backstreet Boys were on the radio literally every 5 minutes yesterday. Songs like Backstreet's Back, Larger Than Life. And I've always loved the Backstreet Boys. The secret that I've always told you guys is that I was always a Backstreet Boys fan. And it brought me back to the memory that I've shared with you guys about how the Descendants of Zombies cast were actually in the same cafeteria as the Backstreet Boys getting something to eat. They were hanging out. They were shooting a TikTok live video. And one of them mentioned, I think it was Joshua Colley, mentioned the Backstreet Boys were in the same cafeteria as they were. And I was just waiting. I sat there waiting for one of the girls to go over and try to acknowledge the Backstreet Boys and get them to come over and, say hi to you guys on a video. Obviously they couldn't because of restrictions they were under. But I would have loved to have seen the Descendants cast try to have a chance to collaborate with the Backstreet Boys, because many of them weren't even alive when the Backstreet Boys were the greatest boy band of all time. They still are the greatest boy band of all time. I remember being in the lineup at Music World years ago. Again, it was revamped into CD Plus. Again, many of you are too young to remember that, but that was on May 6th of 1996. That was the first time ever the Backstreet Boys released an album. We had no idea the Backstreet Boys were going to go on to achieve so much recognition and rarity and go down in history for being the greatest boy band of all time. They are still touring in 2025, not as often as they were back in the 1990s, or nearly as popular, but they will forever and always be the greatest boy band of all time. And less than 1 year after that, on May 6, 1997, Hanson dropped their first ever album. I've experienced everything. And I've never had an honor quite like this to experience something so special like the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour, and just how popular these stars have become, for how relatable their content is to thousands of people, how Freya, Skye, and Malachi Barton's working relationship has touched each and every one of your hearts. I know forever and always there will be a critic who has a rumor they want to discuss about how the relationship between Kylie Cantrell and Malachi Barton never turned out the way they wanted it to, and Kylie Cantrell pretty much broke up with him within 3 months. But I've always believed that that's never a reflection on who Kylie Cantrell is, just because she may feel differently about a relationship than what he did. And I think eventually their stars are going to shine brighter than ever before, and how people may feel about them in the way of critics, of course that's what I'm referring to. It's never been really any reflection on the type of person Kylie Cantrell is. Because if you notice anything about Kylie Cantrell, the one thing you've got to appreciate about Kylie Cantrell is that she's forever been an emotional person. And she's had the opportunity to share in and create so many wonderful moments with each and every one of you that I had the chance to be a part of. If there was one girl that I wanted to drop a really cool review on for you guys, it was Kylie Cantrell. If there ever was one girl I ever wanted to say something nice about, it would have to have been Freya Skye. I just love how these British singers can sing without you ever knowing they're British. I think that bands in the 1990s like Westlife and NSYNC and all these great bands could really nail that. They could sing and you could never ever figure out if they were British or not. But the thing about Freya Skye is she's British, and she's singing her words so clearly, and she's putting such beautiful lyrics to beautiful melodies. And that's the one thing that I've always taken away from Freya Skye's music that's given me a greater appreciation to who she is. She is the one girl that I would love to go on a midnight walk up until 3 a.m. in the morning with just to get to know, or call on the phone every night just to ask her random questions to get to know more about her. I really do love these stars, and I've loved being a part of their lives, and the thought of me being your voice of Descendants of Zombies has been the greatest honor that I've ever had as a YouTube content creator, because the one thing that a YouTube content creator should forever and always try to do is create relatable content that somewhere, somehow touches your heart. I know this may come from a guy who lives in a haunted house who just wanted to live the entire zombies experience and had the chance to do just that, but I've always wanted to touch your heart in some way or somehow. I had no idea how I was going to do it or how I was going to relate to over 10 million people who love Descendants of Zombies with all their heart, but I've become one of the most recognizable voices and one of the most recognizable figures in the history of Descendants of Zombies because I've really put my heart into every video that I've ever had the chance to record. Because once you touch the heart of every fan of Descendants of Zombies, you've truly got something to be grateful for. And once you can share your predictions, your thoughts, your theories, your analysis on Descendants of Zombies, there's no greater feeling in the world of appreciation to just know that you probably touched the heart of whoever was a fan of Descendants of Zombies out there. I would especially like to say thank you to the Freya Skye community who have been with me from day one. You guys have forever been supportive of me. The Freya Skye fandom have the greatest fans in the world, and there are people who love Freya Skye with all of their hearts subscribing here to this YouTube channel from all walks of life, who all have a different story as to why they became a fan of Freya Skye or why they've seen something special in her, and I've experienced this firsthand. People are always leaving comments all the time about how much they love Freya. They're letting me know how passionate they feel about Descendants of Zombies, because I've always believed that you should never be afraid to let the world know how you truly feel about something happening in your life or how you feel about something like Descendants of Zombies, because we only have one life to live, and there's ever, forever, and always only been one you. So because there's forever and always only been one you have to make the most of every opportunity that you have. So if you've ever imagined yourself being a part of the Descendants of Zombies productions, then follow through with your dream and continue to follow your passion. Because once you see your passion become a reality before your very eyes, there is no greater feeling in the world of accomplishment. You really get a sense of accomplishment when you see your dream becoming a reality for you, even with how far away your dreams seem to be on times. We all have a light, and we all do eventually find that light. And that's all I've ever wanted to happen for each and every one of you. That may have came in the form of seeing the Worlds Collide tour for the first time ever. That may have came in the form of seeing Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires and how beautiful of a performance you saw Freya Skye give. And you were felt inspired that you wanted to be a part of Descendants of Zombies. And I've always wanted to encourage that. I've also wanted to encourage that forever does indeed exist, and that happily ever after is something that could happen for everybody out there. So if you've ever believed in happily ever after or forever existing for you, then I think you should subscribe here to this YouTube channel. Now, I know I may believe in superstition and a black cat crossing my path. Actually, there was a situation years ago where a cat would always show up outside my house every morning. We eventually would take the cat in, but the cat would show up at my door every morning, and I would give him a warm bowl of milk. I think he was looking for some place to sleep and some food and stuff, and every morning he would show up at my door. So that is the closest example I can use for you where a black cat has actually crossed my path. But I was always kind to animals, and I always had a greater appreciation for animals, which is why I really heard you guys when you told Kylie Control that you wish she had a pet rabbit in the Descendants franchise who could talk. If ever Kylie Control gets a pet animal in the Descendants franchise, regardless of what that animal is, dog, cat, rabbit, whatever, I will gladly volunteer to be the voice of that animal. Because I've always had a greater appreciation for how characters could be brought to life by somebody who sits behind a microphone and gets paid up in high amounts. Honestly, guys, I would do it for free. I would be Kylie Control's pet rabbit for you guys. I don't care what the name of the animal is. Perhaps Geronimo. I really don't know. But I better not say anything because Disney will hear this video and they will call a character Geronimo and name him Pet Rabbit after Kylie Control if they ever see these videos. But I would love to have the opportunity to have been a character in Descendants of Zombies, even a prince. Because I think there's a certain value and appreciation that you can take away and really have with bringing a character to life. You know, just having the chance to be everybody's favorite Descendants character would be so cool for me. And I would appreciate every fan of Descendants of Zombies. There would never be a Q&A or a PR session that you guys wouldn't see me attend. Even if I was the writer and producer behind Descendants of Zombies, one of the creative minds, I would be sitting front and center with the cast. I would be there to answer every question that you guys have, sign every autograph. And believe you me, even though time is never on our sides, I would sign every one of your autographs and have every chance in the world to meet each and every one of you, because I always believed that if you've ever wanted to be a part of something special or have the chance to meet your hero or your idol or to be somebody's hero or idol, you should take full advantage of it. I don't know if I'll ever go down in history for having been one of the greatest of all time, but I would love the idea of going down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, for having touched your hearts for these videos, because we can never seem to have enough time in every day by the time the sun sets to talk about Descendants of Zombies and share our story with thousands of people. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are just like me, who love Descendants of Zombies with all their heart, who have forever and always saw something special in it. And you should never be afraid to let the world know how you truly feel about Descendants of Zombies, because we only ever have one life to live, and forever and always there is only one you. Like, for instance, I love collecting Disney characters as part of my Stuffy collection, and actually just the other day I saw somebody selling a large life-size Winnie the Pooh for over $60, and I'm seriously thinking about making a great sacrifice to have a large Winnie the Pooh as part of my backdrop of my YouTube videos. He has a Winnie the Pooh and he has a Tigger. I guess he has a daughter or something who was really passionate about Winnie the Pooh. I actually had a friend when he was 10 years old. His name was Aaron. And I used to go over to his house every day, and this is a secret. He'll probably kill me if I tell you guys, but when he was 10 years old, he was so passionate about the Tigger character from Winnie the Pooh. Now, Winnie the Pooh characters started making their debut in 1930. It was actually Christmas Eve as part of the evening news that Winnie the Pooh made his debut. That was over 75 years ago. And to this day, he's always been a big fan of Tigger. So what he did was he actually designed his entire room concept revolving around Tigger. So he painted his walls orange and he painted his floor black. So his tiles of his room were black, and the borders of his room were going up the colors of Tigger. And he had all this Winnie the Pooh and Tigger merchandise around his room. Oh, he's really going to kick my ass. But the thing is, guys, if you're ever passionate about something, you've really got to continue to follow your passions, because once you see your dream become a reality for you, there is no greater feeling in the world. So I really do believe that you guys have really created something special. You have forever and always had the chance to be a part of something special, and you should forever and always continue to follow your passions, because your passions will lead you down a path of prosperity and really a wonderful feeling when you realize that you've touched the hearts of somebody who may have loved Descendants of Zombies. Perhaps you have a little sister who is trying to make sense of Descendants of Zombies, watching it for the first time in her life, and probably you've been a fan of Descendants of Zombies for a lot longer. So it presents you with a perfect opportunity. Why don't you watch the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour special with her on February 19th and help her introduce herself to these characters. Perhaps there'll be a song that she likes, a favorite character that she'll idolize, she'll see a hero in. You know, that would be so fun. I think that, you know, brothers and sisters should always take the time to sit down and connect with each other over Descendants of Zombies or whatever franchises they may be a fan of. Perhaps it's High School Musical. High School Musical, the series, which was a great series to bring back High School Musical. It may never have involved the original cast, because Vanessa Hudgens is a big wrestling fan, and she's on WWE Monday Night Raw every week now. But the thing is, don't tell her I told you that, but she is there every week, herself and Danielle Fishel. I always wanted to be their favorite wrestler, but I never got around to being it. I spent many years in the wrestling industry, so I had a chance to, you know, become everybody's favorite wrestling broadcaster and stuff. But, you know, I eventually got out of it. But don't let them know that I told you that they're big wrestling fans. But the thing is, guys, whatever you know, your franchise you're passionate about, just continue on following it, and believe you me, only special things will come of it. I think that every single day more people fall in love with Descendants and Zombies, and honestly, guys, I've loved sharing with you my stories about Descendants and Zombies, because I think that it's no secret that Descendants and Zombies is well on its way to achieving so much rarity and so much recognition for how it's been able to be relatable, so relatable to so many wonderful people. I know there's a girl out there watching this video today who's never taken off her Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour hoodie. There's a girl out there that feels passionate about collecting every Freya Skye hoodie in existence, or has a shelf in her room full of Descendants of Zombies dolls. And all I've ever wanted for you guys is for you to continue to follow your passions and believe in it with all of your heart. Because when you believe in it with all of your heart, only magical things will happen for you? Why do you think Disney has promoted magic for over 100 years through the 100 characters he would go on to create in so many successful franchises? It's because if you ever think about it, magic does have a chance of existing, and forever certainly does happen for everybody. It's just about how much you believe in it. And we've certainly saw and taken something special away from Descendants of Zombies each time that we've had these conversations, which I could only hope could touch the hearts of thousands of people out there. So having said that, guys, I will be back just after sunset tonight with a new video about Descendants of Zombies, sharing with you my insights, my predictions about that foreseeable future, because there is a future happening. It may be Friday the 13th, but we'll survive, and we'll make our way down our journey to being even bigger fans of Descendants of Zombies as we look ahead to the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour special, and of course Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, which premieres this coming summer. As we await a release window and a date for Zombies 5 to drop, there is a rumor floating around online that filming of this is going to commence as early as April 2026, although I don't know if that can be confirmed just yet, but I'll have more on that when the info drops. You have been watching the unofficial Descendants of Zombies podcast, which, if you ask me, just a little secret, guys, I think this should become the official Descendants of Zombies podcast, because I really put my heart into every video I've ever created about these franchises that I know you guys love so much. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and thank you so much for having watched this video. It has been my honor to create all these wonderful videos and to have hopefully touched your heart. Thank you so much for having watched this video. Enjoy the rest of your Friday the 13th.